Welcome to the Mind Over Law podcast, where we break the traditional rules of practicing law. Our focus is helping you first to become a better, happier person, which in turn will make you a better, happier lawyer, both in and out of the courtroom. We will combine mindset and energy practices grounded in ancient wisdom along with cutting-edge neuroscience, give you those skills, plus I'll have deep conversations with some of the most thoughtful leaders that will share their life stories, their leadership journeys, and their legal practice wisdom. I'm Lexlee Overton, and my promise is that each episode will offer practical insights and strategies to empower your law practice, your leadership skills, and most of all, your personal well-being. Join me, and I promise you'll become a better you, lawyer, and leader. Welcome to today's Mind Over Law podcast. I'm Lexlee Overton, and I'm really excited to have our expert guest today. Marilyn Jenkins is a seasoned digital growth strategist, and she has helped numerous law firms to experience exponential growth, including multiple seven-figure revenues, by helping them to craft strategic marketing plans that really specialize in everything from paid advertising to SEO to Google business profile optimization, anything that can help drive your firm towards growth. We talked about so much and learned so much with Marilyn today. I'm really excited for you to be able to experience it. So if you've ever found yourself looking at a marketing plan or listening to a marketing company and feeling like they're talking a foreign language to you, you're going to learn a lot today. So let's get started. So welcome, Marilyn. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today because I know I'm going to learn a lot also.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I want to jump right in with one problem that I see with a lot of the law firm owners that I work with. When it comes to marketing, there seems to be a natural distrust of marketing agencies because there's not a lot of understanding of the data and the reports that are given. There's like all these reports with these numbers, but at the end of the day, what they're looking for is, am I getting the leads? And sometimes that doesn't necessarily correlate. And then there's just a lot of confusion and sometimes a resistance about bringing in and hiring an outside agency because they just, they've had that problem of distrust. And, you're really the expert on SEO for law firms. So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about that and maybe what are some of the top tips that you have for lawyers?
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think the barrier to entry as far as a marketing agency goes is very low, right? So you get a lot of people with no experience and they hide behind the data or they make up some report or run some reports and they just don't teach you how to read them. Bottom line is, are you getting leads? Are you making money? And is that getting better each month? Right. My company's been focusing on attorneys since 2018, and I've been working in digital marketing since the late 90s. So I've seen a lot of changes and I'm still here. So I have clients that we've helped generate over multiple seven figures. So, we do a really good job and we keep our customers, our clients educated. We want them to understand what we're telling them, right? Everyone has an account manager that reaches out to them by phone and email once a week to explain what last week did, and get feedback.
That's amazing.
We can sit here and keep generating leads, but if they're not good leads or you're not following up on them, or if we're not both of us playing the right part, then it's going to feel like a bad situation. What I tell people is even before we start working together, in your Google business profile, there is an insights tab. Now, the manager part of it looks different for different places. Google doesn't roll out new programs across the board to everyone exactly the same. There's a staged rollout. So I tell everyone, okay, go into your insights and run a report today, because we're going to run a report when we start working with you. And we're like, this is our baseline. This is where we are. Now, your report shows how many searches you came up in, how many directions were clicked on, how many people went to your website, and how many phone calls you got from just in your Google business profile. So it's all of that data. No one's going to change that data. And it's very clear, it's written out, it's explained by Google, and that's where we're going to get our data from. You can easily understand that. We have training as well. And your account manager is educated to make sure that you understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, this is so key because I think, I've seen some reports that come into some of my clients and it's like, well, these looks like it's a good thing, but then it's not correlating with the viable leads, right? That they're receiving. What are some of the things that you would suggest that law firm owners really look for besides running that Google report?
I think it's going to be an accountability on both sides. So we as the agency are going to be accountable to getting you more leads and helping you, understand the reports that we're doing. We do automations, that sort of thing, to engage the leads when the office is closed or something like that. And we're trying to get them to book on your calendar. Now, you have to take accountability and make sure that your front desk is answering the phone correctly, or in many instances, answering the phone. The Better Business Bureau says 67% of small businesses' phone calls go unanswered. So imagine how much you could grow if you answered your phone, right? Mm-hmm. And it could be just staffing, it could be different expectations. But we find that if we have training from the front desk all the way up, we use our CRM, we provide a dashboard for the leads, and we train you on how to use them. Speed to lead is important. So, as soon as a lead comes in, what we do for our clients is we text our client that a new lead came in. We text the lead, even if it's 2:00 in the morning, because, hey, they're on their phone. And we let them know that we're going to be in touch with them. So we make them feel acknowledged. So if they're searching for an attorney, my client just replied to them. Where did the other one? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we automate that. As soon as it comes through, boom, they get an email. Look out for a call from a member of our team. We'll get you taken care of. So they feel acknowledged. Now you've got a warmer lead. Right?
That's amazing. And you do that through the leads that come in through how? Through the website?
Through a form. So if we're running Facebook ads, we do lead forms. If we're doing Google ads, we do a landing page. But that form triggers the communication. Mm-hmm. Now, as soon as they submit it, they get a text, they get an email, you get a text and an email. And of course, great. My team gets an email just so that we can keep track of what's going on.
Right. But I do tell, even when I was practicing law, the biggest rule is PNC's call, it's immediate contact, because we know that as soon as they hang up the phone, they're going to turn around and call the next lawyer. Right? Mm-hmm. It's just the competition is so much. So the speed to lead, is that how you said it? That's a great concept there. Yes. So that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that lawyers make, is not paying enough attention to treating the leads with urgency.
That's correct. And not reaching out enough. Right. I had a client that we thought we were just kicking butt and doing a really great job. And he tells my account manager, well, I haven't signed anything in 3 weeks. That means we've got no ROI in 3 weeks. And we're like, well, what's the problem? And they're not using our CRM that we provide, so we can't track that they're calling people. Well, come to find out, they were sending one text message when the lead came in. They never actually picked up the phone to call the lead. Right. If someone is in need of an attorney to the extent that they call you or they fill out a form, that means they're searching. They have reached that top of the buyer's pyramid where they know they have a problem and they're looking for a solution. And if you're not that solution, the next person in Google Maps will be. Right. Yes.
So not following up enough or in the right way. So one text message is not going to do it. I mean, obviously, I think everything about business in a lot of different ways, but especially with sales, is all about connection. It's really hard to connect with people and to get them to buy in, to trust you to buy in by just doing a text message. And that would also bring in some of the mistakes that I see, and I'm sure you do too. And I'd love to hear because you're talking about training them on this, is that really having an intake system that teaches that intake team how to make the connection and to be, to be able to make the sell, right? Even if that's the sell is to get them in for an appointment. Mm-hmm. What do you see in reference to that is a problem?
Well, one of the first things we asked is, has your team worked with internet leads before? These are a world apart from referral leads. Okay, referral leads, they already know your name, they already know what you do, because someone
told them to trust you. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Where if you're getting a lead from an ad, maybe they looked at your Facebook page if the lead was on Instagram or Facebook, Maybe they looked at your Google business profile. If you were running Google ads, maybe they just hit the call now button on the ad and they clicked call and they reached out to you. Anybody that's did that, they are interested in finding a solution to their problem. However, if you're not used to that kind of thing, and maybe they don't answer the questions as appropriately as you expect, or they want to jump straight to how much does it cost, those kinds of things. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are price shopping. So your front desk needs to have an idea of what types of things they need to be ready to answer. And if they need to be vague about it, then that's fine. They need to explain why they're being vague, but also not expect that every call that comes in from the ads is going to be a case that you accept. Now, I have a client that does immigration in the Houston area. She closed 23 cases in 1 month. The first month she was with us, she was really worried. She had another agency she was working with that had 0 ROI for 5 months. And she was super concerned that she wouldn't be able to renew if she didn't get any cases. So I'm like, no, we worked together. She was in another law firm I worked with a few years ago. And in the first month, she closed 25% of the leads. Now that 75% didn't close, but she made $89,000 that month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she had the process that if someone was unqualified, she asked them for a referral. Now she is the only client that I know in all the time I've been working with attorneys that do that does that on a consistent basis. That's part of her process.
Meaning ask for referral how? Like
okay, so
a Google review or something.
No. I mean, literally, you're on the phone with a lead that came in. The lead is not you can't help them.
Right.
Like, but it's immigration, right? She's like, okay, so I can't help you, but is there anybody that you know that I can?
Oh, got it. Okay.
So she's asking the disqualified leads for referrals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And 23 cases in 1 month, and so she went from I'm not sure how I'm going to pay for next month to hey, let's keep it going.
Right.
I'm just really excited.
Yeah. Well, that's another great tip. Okay. So what is, besides those couple of things that seem to make a really big difference, is there something that you guys do that you see makes a world of difference in viable leads that turn into clients?
Again, we talk speed to lead on the client's part. On our side, we have a thing we call like 3x5. So when it comes to the number of touches it takes for someone to make a decision or to follow through on that touch, it's used to be 3. Now it's more like 7 to 9. So what we do is when the lead comes in, we immediately throw them in, unless they book on your calendar, we immediately put them into an automated sequence of emails and text messages. They get one a day for 5 days. Now, during those 5 days, you, client, are the third touch per day, and that's a call.
Wow. Okay. So you're able to get your law firms, not only you putting them through a sequence that they're actually getting touched either by text message or email or both.
And text and email.
Text and email, but you're also having the law firm reach out and make a call.
Exactly. Now, if for some reason they can't or won't make calls, we do offer an optional call center. And what we'll do is we will capture the calls 24/7. As they call in. If a lead form comes in, we call them immediately, and we'll call them 10 times until we can book them, or we put them in no contact, or we couldn't contact them.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, because the follow-up is really important. And it's one of the things that I see a lot of firms, they might be really good at, the speed to lead, but then not good in the follow-up if someone doesn't say yes right away.
Right. It just kind of goes into a black hole, and it's like, well, how many times did you call these leads? Well, none. I mean, I actually get that. If the lead doesn't step forward and make that call, come into the office or whatever, no one ever reaches out to them.
Is there like a percentage that you see that when you make that number of touches that actually end up converting?
Between 23 and 28%.
Wow, that's pretty big.
Yeah, if you follow the process and you have a team that can do it. Now, none of our ads, none of our ads say that your free consultation is going to be with the attorney.
Okay,
right? Got it. Mm-hmm. Because I can't have an attorney sitting on a phone call when they should be working a case and making some money, right? Mm-hmm. So our clients usually have your front desk or an intake person that actually has these 3 to 5 questions they ask. They qualify them, and then they book them on the attorney, and they're collecting money. So It's that kind of thing. The free consultation just gets you to someone in the office that knows how to qualify. If you're qualified and that person does the sale, you get them into the attorney and they're making money.
Are you seeing, I see a trend or a push by some firms to try to have a, not just intake, but a non-lawyer salesperson. So someone who's not a lawyer that actually does the consultation, puts forth what, the fee would be, et cetera, before they see a lawyer.
Yes.
How do you
that's
find
usually that's usually the intake person or the paralegal. And if they are, if they can talk the talk, I haven't seen any downfall in that, because someone's got to bring the dollar value up. Someone has to bring the price up. And if you've got an intake person that is a okay salesperson but is a very good customer service person and can explain and take the case and say, yes, it does qualify. This is how much it is, and these are our pricing plans. Whatever you need to do to close that sale, and book them with the attorney.
I am curious because, like you, I work with a lot of different practice areas, a lot of different law firms and different practice areas. I find that doing a non-lawyer salesperson works well in like probate and estate planning. But sometimes on cases or the types of practice where there seems to be really, let's say, heavy energy. There's a lot at stake, right? So criminal defense, or maybe even family law where there's custody issues and things are really nasty, right? There's a lot at stake. I find that the success of a non-lawyer salesperson isn't working as well. Have you seen that trend?
I have not seen that trend, and it's very similar to, we have a workers' comp client and personal injury clients that have a team of intake people that do the qualification and accepting a case. Now, those are different because of contingency, right? But at the same time, estate planning, yes, but family law, once you get them qualified, this is what the range of pricing is going to be, then book them with the attorney. I mean, it's when it's high energy, like you said, it's high emotional value with divorce and criminal. But I also find that with criminal, it's like, especially if you're a parent of a teenager that's in jail for DUI, you don't want them sitting there any longer. So the first person that answers the phone.
Of time. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, if they're in the attorney's office and they say they can help you and they can be at the jail in 10 minutes, that's not a hard close.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. This is wonderful. One of the things I know that you really have some tips around that I think our listeners would really love to know is using your Google business profile to dominate your local visibility. What are your tips around that? And because that seems like that would be something that you can do and it doesn't cost a whole lot to do. I'm sure that there's maybe some ads that can go in that too, but what do you have to tell us about that?
Yeah, that's kind of my soapbox. So, so many companies, so many people don't realize the power. We keep thinking of Google My Business as a place to store reviews. Well, every iteration from Google Places up, it has new and more features. So the Google Business Profile is more like, think of it as Google social media, right? Okay. So if you put a post on Facebook or Instagram is going to show that to 10% of your audience, right? 10%. What if you take that same information and put it on your Google Business Profile? Because the new Google Business Profile, you have posts, you have products, you have services, you have all of this information, including videos and pictures that you can list. And the more information you give Google, the more services or the more searches they see you to be relevant for, right? So if I know whoever sees my Google Business Profile is a potential new client that is searching for a solution to a problem, am I going to post on Facebook or am I going to post on Google Business Profile?
Okay, so I didn't even realize that you could do that on Google Business Profile. So what are the kinds, and obviously you're speaking to the client that has the problem. So what are the kind of posts, maybe you can use a particular practice area that you have clients do and or videos?
Yes. So you have photos and videos that you can put up and on the base. Okay, so it's on your main part of your Google Business Profile to identify yourself. And we suggest doing like the front of your office and then a team shot and then the attorney shot. So do all those things for the know, like, and trust factor, right? Rename your photos with the practice area and your city. So do that, get all of that information up. If your area has 7 categories that you can put in, choose your most popular, whatever you want, the priority order of your categories. Never ever use just lawyer, law firm. I cringe when I see that when I'm looking up something and that's their category.
Okay, so give me examples of categories. If we're not
Divorce
using
attorney.
lawyer or law firm. Oh, divorce, like specific practice areas.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Criminal defense, personal injury, not even just personal injury, car accident. It gets very granular. They're already defined, so it's not like you can go and type it in. But you can define.
Okay, so they are defined, but you can choose.
Exactly. And then some areas have 6, some areas have 8. So like I said, they roll out features. So get your name, address, and phone number exactly the way it is legally, get your category set up, and then connect your website, connect a phone number, make sure, obviously, the directions are set up. And then in the posts section, you can put anything you want. With our clients, we do 4 posts a month minimum, and they are articles that we write based around a part of their service and the keyword that would then link it back to your website. So imagine the value of a google.com link back to your website.
Right.
Okay. Wow. So we do 4 of those a month. Now they also have Q&A. And I've had clients say, well, nobody's asked me any questions on my Google business profile. Well, why don't you ask a few? Because we all have FAQs, right?
Right.
And your FAQs are the same question that every potential new client asks you. So why not put it on there?
Yes.
Because also, if you've ever asked a question to Google and they can bring up all these additional questions, well, some of those additional questions all come from the same place, and it could be your website.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So let me ask a clarifying question real quick about the post. When you say it's articles that you write, is it linking to something that's on the client's website, or is it's certain links of articles, so many words that you actually can do in a post?
It's a literal article with an image.
Wow.
Okay. And we put that on their blog as well. So it's the same thing. We're putting it in 2 places.
Got it.
Now the main keyword is going to link back to the homepage from both places. So that one article we write will go in both places, because it's important to have it on your website for content, but it's super important to have it on your Google business profile for more information about you. And it could be something as, how do you hire a personal injury attorney? Or what to look for in a family law attorney.
Right.
And the thing is if you've ever done advertising, doing anything with family law attorney doesn't get the traction that divorce attorney does. So in the US, our colloquialism, if you will, is people think of it a divorce attorney and they do all of the things in family law. But if you say family law, they're at a loss of what's included.
Right. Yeah. I bet custody is also a good term.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've found people that, if you do ads, people see custody under divorce. It's just in their head, part of that.
It is. Yeah.
Where family law is like, what exactly?
What is that? Yeah. Okay, so we covered photos and we covered posts. What about videos that you can do?
Absolutely. That you can do, and you really need to do that. One of the things I suggest my clients do is sit with your phone in front of you, talk not to the phone, but to that potential new client, and tell them who you are, what you do, and why you can help them.
Is there a limit on the time limit on videos or anything?
I usually try to keep them to a minute. Because, but unless you've got a video on your homepage. Now that intro video can be on your homepage as well. If somebody clicks through to your website from your Google business profile, which was found in a search, and they spend some time on your website before going back to Google, Google sees that as irrelevant. So by having video on your homepage, they will stay there long enough to watch that video. Where if they hit your homepage and within say 5 seconds they go back to Google, Google records that as you not being relevant for that search.
Oh, which is going to hurt you.
It can if you were relevant for it and you just didn't have the right thing on your homepage. Like maybe you didn't have your phone number, you didn't have some of those conversion items that we talk about, or a video. Video is just a great way for people to spend a minute or 2 on your website and watch a video.
Yeah.
They don't know that Google's keeping time.
Right, exactly. Well, this is all so fascinating. And I know you've actually written a book, right? A training guide on Google business profiles.
I have. I wrote the book, The Google Business Profile Training Guide, and most recently, the 2025 Local Visibility book. And I go further than just your Google Business Profile to all the other things you can do in your local community to get backlinks, to be found, and to be found as the go-to attorney for your practice area in your area.
Wow. So what are one or two tips for that?
Do you do any volunteer work? They probably have a website. Ask for a link back to your website.
Oh, okay.
Are you a member of a chamber or BNI or Rotary or any of those kinds of things that has a website? Ask for backlinks.
That's a really great tip.
Yeah, and there's another really interesting one is starting a Facebook group for your local community and inviting all the businesses in. And then they can all have, there be members of the community, and they refer each other within the community. And just because you sponsor it, it's very easy and it's free.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Wow. Well, this has been so interesting. And then, of course, we're going to link everything here on the show page back to everything where people can find you and links to the books that you've written, which brings me into, I really want to talk a moment, it's one of the questions we always ask our guests about what you're excited about creating. And I know the answer to this, but tell us about that.
Well, my newest book that released last week, and I just got my copy of it this week, is the 2025 Local Visibility Guide, how to outrank and outshine and outperform your competition.
Wow.
That book was a pleasure to write. It kind of encompassed a lot that we talk about and the new features of the Google Business Profile, and then all the other things you can do to be found locally. And there's even a 90-day game plan at the end, and a glossary, because we, of course, love the education part of what we do. And then I want our clients and our future clients to be prepared for 2025 to be your best year yet. So in addition to that, I have a free event on LinkedIn of a digital marketing planning program for 2025 to help you plan your marketing. Because even the Law Review Board has a recommendation of the amount of your revenue, your future revenue, you should be investing in marketing to reach that. So we have a marketing planning workshop for you.
Oh, awesome. And is that something that's on a specific date, or you can basically attend it anytime?
You can attend it anytime. I have it going on Wednesday, December 18th, and it's on my LinkedIn profile, but it is evergreen. So you can catch the replay anytime that works for you.
Okay, great.
It comes with a workbook and a spreadsheet.
That's awesome. I love giving, I can really tell that you're passionate about what you do. And I think it's so important for us to share like the wisdom and the magic that we have out into the world. And that's really awesome that you're doing that. We will definitely link that.
Awesome.
My second closing question for you that we usually ask everyone is, what is one rule that you would tell lawyers to break that might be something that they think is, well, I don't know if I could do that. Tell us what you think that is a rule that lawyers should break.
Video, the know, like, and trust. I know some attorneys that do little short videos every day, and I know attorneys that are absolutely terrified to do it. And all you're doing is educating your future client, right? It's just, and keep them, 30 to 60 seconds. You're not giving a dissertation. You're not writing an opinion piece or a white paper, right? You're just explaining, how do you do this? How do you choose that? Is there an update to the law? Has something changed locally? Speak it. Put it on all the socials, but also put it on your Google Business Profile and put it on your website and build a YouTube channel. It's simple, but it's something that people don't want to do.
Right. Well, the know, like, and trust, a lot of times, lawyers think they have to have a certain mask that we put out to the world, but really what people want is authenticity. So it doesn't have to be perfect. And the more that I find, and I do a lot of this in my own work, is that the more that you just show up and show who you are, then the more people believe you, right? They trust you. Yeah. So I think a lot of times lawyers get really caught up on that it has to be perfect and it has to be a certain way.
And normal people think that you guys are unapproachable because you know so much more about the law. And oh my God, what if I say something wrong? Get your voice out there. People do business with people they know, like, and trust.
So true. So true. All right. Our final closing question is, what's one thing that you do to be a healthier, happier person?
I get outside for an hour at least every day.
Oh, I love it. The same thing I try for me. When I miss it, you can really tell it.
Yeah,
That's a really
exactly.
key one. Well, Marilyn, thank you so much for your time. This has been so insightful and informative, and I'm really excited to dive into the new book. Can't wait to read
Awesome.
it. And
I'm excited about
congratulations.
it.
Yeah, congratulations on finishing that. So thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. And if any questions come up, please just let me know.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Mind Over Law. We hope that you're walking away inspired and ready to embrace your life and law practice in a more holistic, healthier, happier way. Don't forget to hit subscribe and let us know what you think. Leaving a review helps us to spread the word to others. Be sure to follow us on socials for all the behind-the-scenes fun and sneak peeks of upcoming episodes. Until next time, remember, with intention, anything is possible.